Hi Scorpio, welcome to your February 2019 reading. I am so sorry I did not do your video last month. I had a million and one things going on, but that is why I'm starting with you and Cancer for this month's readings. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share these videos if they resonate with you, or your friends' placements. You want to see if it resonates with them. This is going to be a general reading, and then we'll do a couple romance oracle cards at the end, and we're going to kind of go from there. I do two spreads. The first one is a general, like what's going on now, and then the second one is what to expect in the coming weeks for the rest of February. It is a shorter month, so we'll probably have a little bit of a shorter video. The ones last month were about 20 minutes long, so this one's probably going to be capped around 15 maybe. But let's see what we have in store. You guys are having a good month so far. All right. So this is Fountain Tarot. I haven't used this one very much. But let's see here. I don't do reversals. So used to me turning them around. Okay. So the placement for these cards is, this is what is in our recent past, currently, and near future, where we are emotionally, and then where we are mentally. So in our recent past, we had the King of Swords. So there may have been some communication that came in, some kind of strong communication, or this is something, an energy that you embodied. I actually kind of think that might be more so what it is. Because you go from this, like, rigid, just communicating, letting people know exactly what's up, like what you're not messing around with, what you are going to be tolerating. You may have also been dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I won't spend too much on the recent past. I'll just pull some clarifiers for everything else, just because, it's in the past. It's not relevant anymore. So where we are now is the Queen of Cups. So I'm getting stronger that you were in this place and, trying to be super logical, or being very logical and sometimes a little blunt, but then transitioning over to more of this softer, nurturing energy of, who you are as a person deep down, and being okay with that. I'm getting a lot of internal work, self-love, things like that. But it could be that there was a disappointment because emotionally, you're kind of in stagnation. You're not really sure what's happening or where you are, where to go. There's some confusion. There could also be needing to make a decision over somebody. It could be a decision over this King of Swords. Maybe they said something to you and you're just not so sure if that's something you want to do anymore, or perhaps their energy needs to cool back a little bit, or you want to try and match them. I'm getting mentally you are the Knight of Swords. This is actually a very interesting card. I'm trying to make it so you don't see my nails. They are a mess. It's almost like you were the King of Swords. You had this energy, but you're trying to soften it up a little bit. Maybe someone let you know, like, hey, you're being a little bit rough. And then, it's just like, okay, so how do I continue to be able to communicate effectively and let people know exactly where I am in terms of what is okay and what is not, without being that rigid masculine energy that was before? There's nothing wrong with that. It could be that you just want to be a little bit more conscious of people's feelings, or of just, maybe not being hurtful. It could be like a defense mechanism, right? Like sometimes we'll react and we'll say things that we don't really mean, or do mean, but didn't need to say out loud, right? So you could tell somebody like, oh, you're just a bum, and it's like, yeah, they may actually be a bum, but you don't actually want to tell them, right? Like you don't need them to start thinking that Scrubs by TLC was about them. Like we don't need that drama, So that's where we are mentally right now and emotionally. But we're like in a good place. So even if this doesn't necessarily sound like the most positive thing, like you're still the Queen of Cups at this time, which is great, right? It's someone that is emotionally fulfilled. It's someone that it's like really, really empowering, and having that divine feminine just flow through you. What we have moving forward is the Ten of Wands. So you may be trying to kind of think logically and execute logically, but you want to come from a place of love. right? Because we have the Ten of Wands in the near future. I'm gonna hide my nail. So we have the Ten of Wands in the future, which is a card of burdens, right? So what I'm thinking, what I'm getting actually is that there's a decision that you need to make. It could be on somebody, it could be on a thing, you know, perhaps leadership I'm kind of getting, which would actually make sense. I'm a Scorpio rising, so I am having quite a few concerns about my place of work. Where is it something that I really want to do? Do I want to focus on the title versus what my job is actually entailing, right? So that's kind of what I see here in the decision, whatever it is, you know, it's almost like you win some, you lose some, regardless of what it is that you choose. But honestly, like winning and losing is 100% perception. So, you know, if you see it as a setback, it is. If you see it as a win, it is. If you see it as an alternative, it is. If you see that you have no options, you don't, right? You go as far as you let yourself go. So that's kind of where we are. Let's draw some clarifiers. Okay. Yeah, there is a decision that is coming up. We have the Chariot clarifying the Queen of Cups. And then we have the Four of Swords clarifying the Four of Cups. Interesting. You are exhausted. You know what it is? Well, it may or may not be this. You're exhausted of this decision. Like, this decision has been a long time coming. Like, you should have made this decision a long ass time ago. But for whatever reason, you just couldn't do it. And so now, mentally where you are is like, okay, I don't really have an option anymore. Like, it is what it is. You know, I have to make one choice or another. But it's almost like your head and your heart are not in the exact same place. And that is what is making you feel like you have like these two opposing energies that you just need to like wrangle them in together. You don't have to choose. You know, if you just like sit with it and see like, okay, what is it that actually makes me happy? Like, what is it that makes me feel peaceful if I were to go this route? And then you do that. And realistically, you know, it's like you always know what you needed to do. If you don't choose or if you do choose, you still have a Ten of Wands. So let me draw a clarifier for that. Because it's almost just like, you know, I can choose to stay and I have this problem, and I can choose to leave and I have this problem. We have the Six of Swords. Okay, fascinating. So this decision that you make, whatever it is, rest assured, oh my God, my nail. So these are the only cute ones that didn't fall off. It was just not a good shellac job done. These are like 4 days old. But so you've got the Six of Swords with the Ten of Wands. It's clarifying the Ten of Wands. So whichever your decision is, my nails, that's so funny. Whatever your decision is, just know that you're almost there. Like, it may feel like you have all of these additional burdens, like, oh shit, like, why did I even like choose now? I should have waited. You know, I pulled the trigger too soon. This is all part of it. Like, it's part of the journey. It's where you need to be exactly right now. Like, you watching this video and the frustrations that you've got that are running through your mind, you know, that is exactly what you need to be experiencing at this time. Like, in the end, it's all about the journey. It's not really about the end result, right? So let's do one for the Knight of Swords. Whoa, we have a lot of cards. This doesn't normally happen. So we have the Three of Swords, the High Priestess, the Wheel of Fortune, and then the Ten of Cups. Okay, well, there is a separation that happens in this decision. You know that this is happening. So all of these cards were the clarifiers for where we are in our headspace. Okay, so I'm kind of seeing like this is the thought process, and this is you knowing where, you know, what it is that you need to do, where you're going. Okay, so I have the Three of Swords, I have the High Priestess, Wheel of Fortune, and the Ten of Cups. This to me is a storyline. Okay, so because of the separation, you're going to stop and you're going to take some time and you're going to go within. What is it that makes me happy? Where is it that I want to go? What truly makes me feel at peace? What truly makes me feel like I am in alignment, right? Because we can tell, regardless of whatever stage you are in your ascension, you know, you're going to know if you are on the path or not, if you just sit in silence and you think about it, right? So slow down, try and break it down as much as you can. You know, if you want to come from an emotional place, do it. If you want to come from mental, do it. If you want to go on, you know, whatever, that's fine, right? Whatever the point is, like, however it is that you approach this, you're stopping and you're like, look at this. This is practical. This is the energy, right? This woman is sitting, or this figure is sitting, And like her face is just like, I cannot be fucked with right now. Right? So there's secrets, maybe things that come out, things that you know of, intel. And then that's followed shortly thereafter with the Wheel of Fortune and the Ten of Cups. So in order for you to close this cycle to begin a new one, this heartbreak had to happen, this separation. Okay? And this doesn't need to be in a relationship. I try to be as general as possible so that you can apply it to either career. In my case, it would probably apply to career. It would potentially even be in romance, actually, because of, you know, things happen. So let's say it is a relationship. Hold on. So let's say it is a relationship. The breakup needed to happen. The time needed to happen. The break, whatever, right? The space. So you take some time, you think, and it's like, okay, you know, is this relationship truly what I want? Is this going to make me truly happy? Do I want to spend my life with him? Do I want to have a relationship right now? Like, what is my priority? So all of this happens, you come to a conclusion, you close this cycle in order to have your happiness. So you're making the choice to be happy. Whether or not you go back to this person, or whether or not you let go of this person because they may have already exited your life, is going to be on your decision to make a big deal out of it or not. You can choose to have somebody else on a pedestal, or you can put yourself on a pedestal, right? So, the curiosity. So I have the fountain. I don't actually know what this one means. We're going to look it up. That's funny. Here we go. Oneness, a moment of cosmic clarity, fully awake, end of seeking, enlightened being. Surrender to that which you are, whole and perfect. I love it. I absolutely love it. Probably should have studied this before using this deck. I know all the other ones. Okay, so this actually is going to be your entire reading, I want to say. So basically what we have is we have a huge decision that happens. There's heartbreak in needing to make this decision. It may have already happened. The separation may have already happened, or a separation may be coming for you in the month of February, or / where you are right now. Like maybe you feel like you need to leave. You're taking a lot of time. You're taking a lot of time to think this through and make sure it's the best decision for you. When you make this decision, whichever it is that you choose, you will feel burdened, but you'll know that you're almost there because you have the Six of Swords. You just have to wait it out. And then we have divine alignment. This is where we are right now. I'm going to quickly do your weeks. I'm not going to chip you guys on that. There will be one for the head space of February, one for the heart space of February, and then one for each week. I will include the week that just passed, even though I am very late. I do apologize. I moved and then I hurt my back, so it was really hard to do anything, which is why I am currently on my knees. Oh my gosh. What a mess. Okay. Eventually I'll have something to sit on so that we can do rebranding. So that'll be fun. 1 month in. Headspace. Page of Swords. Lots of sword energy. Week 1. Oh, how many weeks are there in? Hold on. How many weeks are there in February? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we have this week. This week was Six of Cups. The one that just passed, because I'm doing this on the 9th. Week 2 is Judgment. Week 3 is the 9 of Coins. Week 4 is the High Priestess. Okay. And then a heart. Three of Swords. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Devil. Crazy. I'm getting Gemini vibes from this. Okay. So in our head, where we are mentally for the month of February is the Page of Swords. So perhaps your approach to doing this logically and stacking up your facts is brand new to you. You're trying to approach things in a way where you don't feel like you should have done things differently. You do not want to regret your movements going forward. Perhaps in the past, you did things from an emotional place, and sometimes that could be very volatile. And sometimes you'll go back and say, what was I thinking? Obviously, you were not. You were just feeling, which is fine. We've all been there. It's not a bad thing. Just, the approach, however, of removing how you feel may be completely new because of the page particularly. But that is kind of where you are. There may also be a younger air sign that you are thinking of, maybe a child that you may be expecting, and they're going to be born within an air season, probably Libra. But that's where we are in our headspace. In our heart space, we have the Three of Swords, so separation, something, actually, you know what? It's almost like you're learning a lesson and you're giving yourself time to grieve. Like, I'm getting that so strongly right now. It's like that morning, it's like after you get beat up by your parent, smacked or whatever, like that after being smacked, crying, and then the sleep, where it's just like, it's exhausting, you're emotionally drained. Obviously, I got smacked around as a kid, but it's just kind of like that. It's like a very quiet, like very somber feeling that I'm getting with this card. Let's do a clarifier. Queen of Wands. Okay. And the reason for it is because you have a new opportunity coming, and but you don't. It's almost like a fear of success, like a fear of being successful in this decision that you take, maybe because of the comfort of where you were at. I have the Six of Cups your first week, so there may have been some kind of reunion from someone from the past. May have seen someone from the past, revisiting things in terms of like themes or whichever, right? Or an excitement of some sort. Usually I wait, but I'm just inspired, man. Queen of Swords. Okay, so there's an air sign female, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, that is making you feel like a kid again, or something from your past that you want to bring back to where you are at this time. This was your first week. It just passed. That is going to go into next week, which is Judgment. So let's see. Something comes up next week. There may be a new job offer. You may quit a position. You may walk away. It may be, at the end of your 2 weeks, that kind of thing, or a new environment. There's some kind of ending here because, and I want to say this is more career oriented. The following week, week 3, which is the 18th to the 17th to the 23rd, you have the 9 of Coins. So there could be a sum of money that comes in, perhaps from the past, like a delayed payment, taxes are coming up. Things kind of look like they're going to be in your favor this month, even if it doesn't feel like it. But I'm seeing that there's going to be potentially new opportunities. Opportunities. 7 of Coins, and then we have the Hierophant. Who are you dealing with? Is there a Taurus? Virgo, perhaps? So, okay, let me sit with this for a second. 7. So week 1, we have the 6 of Cups, and then we go to the 7 of Coins. So week 1 may have been a little bit emotional. Then week 2, you want to approach this on, okay, like let's really dig down and think about what it is that we want. So you could be deciding that you want to redo your resume. You could be deciding that you want to take those further education courses in whichever thing of your field, right? Like if you're in HR, you could take a diversity and inclusion course. If you are in accounting, you can take an additional tax prep course. If you're in, manual labor, you can take on an additional certification, right? So that's kind of like what I'm getting week 2 of really preparing. Week 3, we have the Hierophant that clarify the 9 of Coins. So this is, oh my goodness, check this out. Okay, so the Hierophant is opening up a box. That is the clarifier of the 9 of Coins. What you have a new opportunity coming here. Like there's something that you found. right? There's a story of this man who's homeless and is sitting on top of a box and he keeps asking people for money. And then someone asks him, well, what's under the box? And he goes, I don't know, I'm just sitting on it. I'm probably botching this, by the way. But it turns out that there's a bunch of gold in the box, right? So you may have something brand new where you thought like, no, this is it, it's not going to work out. And then suddenly everything just goes into place, right? Because we had the fountain card clarify your near future. So this is what we could be looking at week 3 in the month of February. Week 4 is followed by the High Priestess and the Hermit. So we have Virgo and we've got Taurus energy here. This is heavy. I feel like this month is just like a whirlwind. There's a lot of stuff going on. You're dealing with a lot. And so towards the end, you're just like, I am moving forward, but I really need to take time to myself and make sure that I'm on the path that I want to be. We have the Devil, which was at the bottom of the deck, and then I just clarified our Page of Swords with the Nine of Swords. So this is not something that needs to stress you out, but you know, it is something that is very close to home, I'm feeling. And then there's this overarching theme, I guess, of the Devil, so feeling trapped. The situation that you're in going into the month of February, or perhaps it happened early in or late January, so that you go into February having left it. But this thing that you leaves you drained and exhausted and in need of quiet. And it keeps you up at night. It stresses you out. It makes you kind of sad. But you also have so much strength where you're just going to keep moving forward. You go from the 7 to the 9 of coins. If you were making 70K and you got a new job, they may be paying you 90K. Or you can have like a $20,000 increase into a new salary. That's kind of what I'm saying. I'm just seeing like there's growth, but like the growth, it kind of hurts this month. Lots of transformation, which is normal for Scorpio. But it's a beautiful reading, okay? It honestly is, because for me, it's like there's no going back. Like if you felt ignorant before, you are educated, you are awake, right? If you felt like you were being taken advantage of before, now you're not. Towards the end of the month, you're just like, no, that is not my story. I'm not going to do this, right? Yeah, I definitely want to know how this month plays out. Whoa, we got messages. Let your friends help you. There may be that separation where you need, release your ex. I'm gonna check in on my Scorpio friend because I know she's got a Virgo ex. Whoa, okay. Unrequited love and romantic feelings. Okay, so there is a separation in love, or feeling the need to separate. There's some kind of distance. It is not even at this time. One person loves the other more than the other person says they do, right? So unrequited love, there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. It's not always personal, you know, like sometimes they're going through stuff. Like someone's feelings will not reflect your own performance, your own, contribution to the relationship, right? So make sure that that's well defined. Let your friends in, let them help you get through this. And just know that your feelings are really worth exploring. We have romantic feelings that followed unrequited love that followed release your ex. So even though like you have a relationship that perhaps didn't really work out the way you wanted it to, just know that there's a lot of other people out there that are willing and ready to be loved by you, right? You just need to know that the right person for you may not be the person you thought it would be. In wanting them, they already are not for you, right? You don't want to force those things. You want those things to feel very natural. I had to learn that lesson the hard way. Trust me. Anyway, that is your reading for February. Please let me know how it goes. I promise I will never forget you guys again. I felt awful. But don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next month.